EcoBatt Fiberglass insulation can be used throughout new or existing homes. The batts come in a range of thicknesses, widths, and R values to fill the cavities between floor or ceiling joists and wall studs. EcoBatt is available unfaced or with a craft paper facing that provides a vapor retardant to help keep the insulation dry. And EcoBatt comes in R values from R11 to R49 to optimize the thermal performance based on your location. We have a separate guide to help you determine the R value that's recommended for your area. But here's a key thing to know. R value measures the resistance of the insulation to the flow of heat. Basically, the higher the R value, the greater the insulating power of the fiberglass. Do-it-yourselfers or professional contractors can install batts. All you need are a few simple tools. Then follow these 4 basic steps. First, open the packaging. Batts come wrapped in plastic bags. So when you're ready to install, move the bags to where you'll be working. Then, open each bag by slicing along the flat side with a utility knife, so that the tightly compressed batts can expand to their full thickness. Batts are pre-cut to be about a ½ inch wider than the standard cavities with either 16 or 24-inch on-center framing. Batts will fit standard cavities with no cutting. But if you do need to cut them, here's the second step. Use your knife and straight edge to cut the length or width of the batts as needed. Trim each batt so that it is about a ½ inch longer than the cavity. And for non-standard cavity widths, cut the batt about a ½ inch wider. In the third step, push the batts into place between the ceiling joists, floor joists, or wall studs. Carefully place the batt in the cavity so that it fills the space between the framing from top to bottom, side to side, and front to back. In floors and ceilings, you can stack the batts in layers to achieve the desired R value. Just be careful not to compress the first layer when you add the second layer. Unfaced batts will friction fit between the framing. There's no need for other fasteners. However, when using craft face batts, there's a fourth step, which is stapling the craft paper tabs to the framing. In exterior walls, the paper side typically faces towards the interior of the house. Adding batts to the attic of an existing house? You can do this in one of 3 ways. Your attic will likely have some insulation. If it's wet or damaged, replace it with unfaced batts or faced batts with the paper side on the bottom. If the existing insulation is dry and in good condition, install unfaced batts on top of the existing insulation. In either case, add batts that are thick enough to fill the depth of the cavities between the ceiling joists. Then add another layer of high R value unfaced batts, typically R30 and higher, perpendicular to the attic framing to reach the desired R value. Always make sure that the insulation does not block the soffit vents, which run along the outside of the attic where the roof trusses meet the ceiling joists. These vents enable the airflow for the roof system to function properly. If you have any questions, contact Knauf Insulation or a professional installer. EcoBatt Fiberglass insulation is that easy to install throughout a house. Now that you know how to do it, it's time to get to work.